In this video, I'm going to be showing you what big steps we're taking to improve our self-sufficiency this July. But first, I'd like to ask you to check out our new gossip cover on our music channel. We just released it and we were able to record it at a beautiful Michigan vineyard, and we're really excited about that, so we hope you check that out. So let me show you what's going on in the garden.
Vineyard chicks, music, homesteading, and more.
This is our fennel and celery bed, and it needs to be weeded a little bit, but we have a shade cloth over this bed, and the fennel is doing really well, and so is the celery. Celeries are still pretty small, but the fennel is getting pretty big already. Now we have a full bed of beets that's already ready to be harvested, so I need to get KK and Bunky in here to help me harvest them. But we have different varieties of beets throughout the bed. Like, you can see here are the golden ones, and these are a really pretty color. Now this is what Bunky calls a comebacker. These are tomato plants that came back from last year. And these are actually San Marzanos, and we love San Marzanos. And it looks pretty healthy, so we're just gonna let it grow because we like San Marzano. This is our bean row, and it's kind of messy, but they're doing really well. And we're growing tons of different varieties of beans. But this guy here, believe it or not, is actually a garbanzo bean. And we've never grown garbanzo beans before, so I actually think that the leaf shapes are really cool. And I'm kind of excited about this because you can use garbanzo beans in pretty much anything. And we're really excited about seeing how the garbanzo beans turn up. And they're already flowering, so you can see this guy's got flowers. And they have beautiful flowers, but pretty sure we're gonna have some beans coming up soon. We don't already, so we just haven't seen yet. This cup is not just here for no reason because someone forgot it here. This is the barrier for where the beans start, the cucumbers begin. And from here on down that way is our cucumber row. And we get a lot of cucumbers every year, to the point where we actually end up missing tons of cucumbers when we harvest because they just get so big and bushy, and the cucumbers are kind of prickly, so they get on your hands and they feel weird. And just trying to look around in the cucumber plants, it's a little hard to find them, but we have cucumber flowers already. And so come next month, we're gonna be having so many cucumbers and so many tomatoes and peppers, it's insane. This is another bean row, and unlike the last one, this one is a full bean row, and they're not all doing too well. A lot of them are really behind, like this one's really small, and so is this one. Because originally when we planted them, like this one, not all of them came up. So we had to replant them, so a lot of them are still very, very small and very young. But they came up this time, and they're doing really well. And we're really excited about this. This is probably the biggest bean planting that we've had since we started our garden. So we're really excited to see how all of these beans do. Our potatoes are also very late. For most people, we plant after everyone else because of our freeze dates and our Michigan weather. But these are our regular tomatoes, and they're doing super well. And then down here we have our sweet potatoes, which are grown from slips. Well, most of them. This one is grown from actual sweet potatoes, but these ones are all slips that Bunky started indoors. And I think we're gonna get a lot of potatoes from these. We're doing a new thing this year where we're taking these old barrels that I always forgot to close. So we took these and replaced them with the screw-on lids, but these are just halves of feeding barrels that we use. We put rocks and straw and dirt on top. And so these are the weirdest containers we have. And then we have nosy emus. Hi. There's this one weed that they really like. It's called silly weed, I think. This is our lettuce bed this year, and we're actually really thrilled about this. They say that lettuce doesn't do well when it gets really hot, so we put this shade cloth over it, and rain can still get through this really easily because it's actually like a really nice material that lets the water through but still keeps them shaded. But the lettuce is doing absolutely wonderful. Most of these are all started from seeds, except for that one that bolted back there. That one was started by a store-bought lettuce. But, I mean, most of these are ready to harvest. They're doing so well. This is our asparagus bed. I have a lot of weeding to do in here, but we have asparagus. You can see how tall they are. Oh, there looks like there's a little one right here. There's a little guy right here. This is one of the huge steps we're taking towards better self-sufficiency in our homestead. And we know it's not much, and we know that we've been struggling on the grain aspect of our self-sufficiency, so we're trying to rectify that. And we know that this is just a very small patch, but we need to experiment and learn how to grow this stuff before we can actually really try to make enough to produce for our family. So this is more of an experiment, and it looks like it's just a weed. Like, this stuff is called lamb's quarter, and it is a weed that grows wildly here, and I think it can be used for food. I'm not sure what though. And it looks a lot like what we're growing here. See how similar they look? But this stuff here, other than the grass, this stuff here is quinoa. And to be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of quinoa when we ate it when we were little, but we're really excited about growing it now, because this is a huge step in the grain aspect of our self-sufficiency. And again, this is just an experiment. It's a very small bed, and we're just learning how to, this is a good time to be learning how to grow things, because it's not crazy right now. It's not absolutely insane right now. We can still go to the grocery store to get grains if we need them. But when we can't, we need to be able to grow them on our own. And to do that, we have to be able to know how to grow them on our own. So we have to learn how to grow them first, and that's what we're doing right now. We are learning how to grow quinoa. Wondering what KK's doing? I wonder that sometimes too. But right now, she's harvesting grape leaves for our grape leaf teas that'll be available soon. And we're probably going to mix them in with other stuff, like our elderberries, after we figure out how to make elderberry grape leaf tea, which we still have to do. But we're going to be harvesting these leaves from our own vineyard before it gets spread, and we're going to be hanging them up to dry and using them for teas. Our elderberries have expanded tremendously this year. I'm half convinced they're trying to take over the world. We have so many flowers, and look, they're already turning into little berries. I can only imagine how many berries we're going to be getting this year. I mean, last year we had so many that we barely knew what to do with them. This year, I don't even know what we're going to do with them. But we're planning on harvesting the berries and dehydrating them so we can use them in teas and elderberry syrup, which Mom did make last year, and it was so good. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. And it's also really healthy for you. Elderberries are extremely healthy and have a lot of really good things for your body. Now, a lot of the people around us have already started their corn a long time ago, and theirs is like up to their knees, whereas ours is barely reaching our shins. And that's because we have a late growing season, and we intentionally put our corn in late. So this is our corn, and it's actually pretty small still, but it is doing really well, and they're really healthy and happy. And we planted them late because the last 2 times we tried to do corn, we were absolutely ravished by birds, and they just like cleared us clean out of corn. We had like 3 total cobs. So we planted them late so that by the time the birds get to our farm, they're gonna have eaten so much corn they're just gonna look for other stuff to eat instead, hopefully. But we're pretty excited about this. We know that this small patch of corn is not enough to help our family through winter, but it is enough for us to learn how to plant corn and how we can grow it here. And we're all really excited about it, especially Bunky, who's just like really living the little house on the prairie life right now. She's absolutely loving it. And she's trying to convince Dad to get a team of horses to plow the land for us. He's just like, no. He and KK are both very allergic to horses. So. But we're really excited about this. Again, this is we know it's not enough to sustain our family of 5, but we need to learn, and it might be hard to get started on stuff like this now, but when everything shuts down, you're going to be starting from scratch. You have to learn how to do it now. But those are the big steps we're taking in self-sufficiency this year, and we hope you were able to learn from this and hopefully learn from our mistakes too. Next time, I'll share 2 huge improvements I've made to the self-sufficiency of our poultry. Join us every Monday night at 9 p.m. for our live music and fun. And please check out our amazing members in the description below. And until next time, God bless.